Welcome to your magic moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. And the moon is in Cancer. The sun is in Scorpio. At 17 degrees, moon in Cancer, we have a 240-degree closing trine angle to the sun in 17 degrees. This degree point has set off the Sagittarius signature. 270 degrees, 30 degrees away is the Capricorn signature. As you can see, these signatures occur within the zodiac signs, so you can see the 30-degree spaces, as these aren't going to happen exactly at 0 degrees of every sign. Okay, so once we reach 19 degrees of the moon in Leo, then the sun will be 19 degrees Scorpio in about 2 days, 2 degrees, because the sun moves 1 degree every day and the moon moves about 1 degree every 1.5, 2 hours. We could say like about 2 hours. This is what's going to bring us from 17 degrees of Cancer to 19 degrees of Leo. By the time we're 19 degrees Leo, once again, we will enact the Capricorn signature. That means from 17 degrees Cancer to 19 degrees of Leo of the moon, we are going to be experiencing cardinally, as the moon moves cardinally through Cancer and then strengthens its passion and boldness in Leo, the Sagittarius signature. The Sagittarius signature, relative of the moon's transit to the sun, which we activated last month at the very end of Libra. We had that new moon at the end of Libra. That was the Aries signature. Then we had the Libra signature, the full moon in Taurus, when the sun went into Scorpio. So now this Sagittarius signature is the final harvest and breakthrough. We had the full moon in Taurus, which was 180. Then the other day, we had the moon in Gemini, which was the Scorpio signature, 180 to 210. Now we've gone from 210 to 240. The 180 is the first stage of breakthrough. The 210, moon in Gemini, was the second stage of breakthrough, which was shifting our intellectual understanding and changing our thoughts to transform Scorpio signature, our psychoanalytical awareness, which was analytical awareness during the South Nodal eclipse in Virgo. We applied that analytical awareness of shifting our behaviors, the ways we were aware we're changing our behaviors, which we do literally every year. If you think of it as a firmware behavioral update, then we apply that in the Libra cardinally with action to now demonstrate our character as it applies these changed behaviors. You know, as they say, don't tell someone you're sorry, apologize with changed behavior. Now Scorpio is bringing us psychologically into the depth of our psyche, right? By fixed sign strengthening the wisdom that enables us to be aware of what we are transforming. And now this third stage, final breakthrough before completion, moon in Leo, 19 degrees, is going to be showing us, Sagittarius signature, the higher meaning of this understanding, psychic understanding of our feelings. Because if you think about what Scorpio means as a psychoanalytical function through the sun function of awareness, when we have the moon there, the psychoanalytical function is our receptivity. Mars, that was there, the psychoanalytical function was our action orientation. So the sun's awareness that's having us probe deeper into how our social dynamics are transforming, because Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio are social signs, a lot of jargon. The moon in Cancer now, in this cardinal water, this holy water, psychoanalysis enables us to see the meaning of our emotions. And that's what this Sagittarius signature is doing as we are breaking through this final stage before we come into the last 3 stages of completion. And then, of course, the moon will go through Leo, Virgo, Libra, and then we will have the new moon 0-degree conjunction at about 28 degrees Scorpio opposite Uranus, 29 degrees Taurus. Now, why is this significant? Taurus, Uranus has retrograded back into Taurus, so the stage is set. Tomorrow, Mercury, as the moon goes into Leo, is going to retrograde, and we're going to understand how this shifting of our harvest, the moon will still be harvesting with that angle right before it's 19 degrees Leo, then we're in the Capricorn signature. As we are breaking through, our receptivity with the moon is going to align with how our brains are starting to reevaluate the higher vision that in Sagittarius, Eight of Wands, Mercury Sagittarius, is showing us visually. What this is going to prepare for over the next week and a half, the sun is going to leave Scorpio, and we're going to be brought into a higher awareness of the synthesis of meaning of everything we activated through Gemini season with the truth, the ideas, and then we, through Virgo, gain facts from these ideas, the analysis, and now that's going to bring 30 days of the finale. And listen, guys, if you thought Virgo season was a plot to season finale plot twist with the turning point, Sagittarius season is going to deliver. All right, so with the moon in Cancer that is breaking through right now, water as an element is intangible. Ow! You feel me? I'm tough. That wasn't that was, you didn't hear that. What you really heard was ow. Oh, too tough. But that being said, this is a physical this is a physical dimension. You feel me? And physically, this is the yang, right? Yang yang. Well, water is yin yin. The yin, even though positivity is marked by air and fire, and negativity is marked by earth and water, within that negativity delineation, there is the negative yang, which is earth, physical, and then there's the negative yin, which is water, emotional, imaginary. It is intangible. The yin is governed by the positive air and the negative water, the mind that governs imagination. So it's important to reflect how the intangible nature of water isn't going to, through this Sagittarius signature of vision, have you see anything physical. It's going to be now revealing the deeper nuances and layers of your emotions and how that is breaking through this transformation of your psychology. And now this is also going to be slowly but surely forming the grand water trine with Saturn, Neptune in the North Node in Pisces. In fact, this is the first grand water trine that's being set because the sun is more close to the North Node in Pisces, taking and applying the psychoanalytical transformation of our awareness that we are seeing transform our social environment to connect to what we are meant to believe, as the North Node coming in the next year, by this time next year, will be in Aquarius. Okay, and taking this understanding of unlocking what we're meant to believe into the knowledge that connects us with the rest of the collective around the time maybe will it reach AGI and then AI plots its takeover. Plots this world utopia where we can all live in peace. The North Node now connects with the moon in Cancer to really help you understand the personal emotions that show you how you are applying this socially. I wish I can explain this much better. I feel like a psychologist would do way much better, speaking of the process and the events involved. But what this is going to do, or what you can experience through this, is everything we've begun to broke through during the full moon is now, through the shift of our mindset in Gemini, coloring in those lines with water. How our feelings now color in these lines and put us in a position to very supernaturally, if anything, feel the alignment. And that's the most important part about this moon in Cancer transit. This is going to prepare you to feel greater alignment, that in about a week and a half from now, when we have the new moon in Scorpio, you will be increasingly aware of this alignment as the sun, by the time the moon goes into Libra, in about like a week from now, will trine Saturn and Neptune retrograde, which will trine Jupiter. And that's another most important thing about this transit. The moon in a few hours is going to connect with Jupiter in Cancer. The moon Jupiter Cancer is now featuring the moon in its dignity and Jupiter in its exaltation. This is what's leveling up Cancer suns, moons, risings, just like it did for Gemini when it was in Gemini a year prior. And you saw what happened to Gemini. I think it's pretty clear. We won that year last year. Well, Cancer is your time. And now everyone has Cancer in their chart, everyone has the cardinal function of feeling. Whether you feel your feelings or not, you have a way of processing your emotions. Okay. And this is going to reinstate every 28 days while Jupiter is in Cancer from June 2025 to July 2026. This 28-day understanding of how our feelings relative to the hour hand and what sign it is in continues to expand. When we had the conjunction late June, the hour hand was in Cancer. Then in Leo, it went into Leo, and then we had the moon Jupiter again, then it went into Virgo, then we had the moon Jupiter again, then it went into Libra, then we had the moon Jupiter again. And each moon Jupiter is updating, hey, relative to the last hour hand to this hour hand, you had evolved this much. Let's revisit how much more you feel powerful. So we're back here again, connecting with the sun in Scorpio, aligning this understanding of the expansion of our emotional and psychic fields, this intangible sense, sixth sense, that science still does not really reasonably, because this is outside of reason in a way, like accepts is real, because you can't really quantify how you're able to feel things that are going to happen before they happen, or you can't, how do you quantify feeling a dream that actually comes true, that it's not impossible, but we're maybe throughout the rest of the decade we will see more psychological breakthroughs or psychiatry breakthroughs relative to this metaphysical breakthroughs. But this is going to really bless you with showing you the higher meaning of what direction your entire life is transforming. Remember, this is the period that I was saying that you're going to be experiencing the most rapid transformation from the full moon to the new moon, from Taurus to Scorpio. And Gemini, when we had the moon conjunct Uranus for the last time until next year, really kicked off this acceleration. The moon at 29 degrees Cancer is going to sextile Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus, and that's going to take this innovative mastery of unconventional grounding and now sextile it and open up what the mindset of these emotions are. What is it that we're feeling relative to this innovation, and how are we going to carry it into the moon in Leo, where we complete the Scorpio season transit and you start to feel the boldness of the results you've gained from a month of transformation. So why this is significant is, you might be asking, well, what does that look like, Peace Dealer? That's what this signature is going to show you, but it's not a tangible vision. It's seeing through your feelings and examining how this understanding of your feelings, actively expanding out of your comfort zone with Jupiter, is showing you more how you're transforming. And now with this connection of the moon to Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node, this is going to, in a subjective way, reveal subtle mechanics, dynamics in your relationships with others, in the world around you, and how through this honoring of your intuition and what you may not sense physically but feel, this not only aligns and locks everything together, but prepares to complete the whole lesson of you transforming through this season. And that's a lot of jargon. I understand. I apologize. I said a lot. Try and watch this video a lot more and with an affirmance if you want, like, to kind of have this like click in. But basically all I'm saying is, prepare, now that we got the math out the way, prepare for some unconventionally ridiculous revelations that will challenge what you felt you believe you knew, and is shifting it subtly to prepare the trajectory you're meant to go in. The rest of this transit is preparing us for Sagittarius season. And now that Mercury is retrograding, it's going to now, of course, you might experience this illusion, because Mercury doesn't really move backwards. That's an illusion. You might experience this illusion in the form of glitch technology. I've had miscommunication on my part as well, as far as waking up later. But this is really going to prepare, as Mercury now retrogrades back to sextiling Pluto, to see more of supernatural dynamics that are at a quantum or Planck length impossible for your brain to process. And so through this mechanic of feeling, through the irrational and maybe illogical nature of how your feelings can spot patterns with this psychoanalytical Scorpio sun. It's going to show you through what people are really feeling. It's going to show you a deeper meaning towards what people really mean behind what they say, what people really mean behind what they feel. And also, this is going to prepare to complete the cycle when the moon begins its 270-degree angle in 19 degrees Leo. So yeah, other than that, we do have Venus in Scorpio, and Venus now in Scorpio, as it will catch up to the sun, will be polishing everything over the past 17 days. We've begun to transform, we've begun to deepen, we've begun to deeper understand or be aware of here. And yeah, I think this is going to really shift things really dope. By the end of next week, or by Wednesday, in 3 days, Jupiter's going to retrograde. So this is going to start to reevaluate how we've powerfully evolved. But with the sun now getting deeper into Scorpio, we're going to start to be aware of how much deeper we've kind of gained greater evolution. And it's a type of process that you're not really able to see because you're busy evolving until a day like today, where things start to retrograde through this week and you start to really revisit situations that challenged you before, that you have a bit more strength and courage to break through. So I hope you enjoy this transit. I want to find a better way to put this into words, but basically with the moon that will increase in degree, especially as it reaches the 29-degree sextile, this will break you through. Remember, this is a breakthrough of a breakthrough season. It's the last breakthrough. So it's all going to really break through here. In between now to 19 degrees Leo, we're going to have the 1 degree opposition to Pluto. So this is going to be somewhat extreme, where you're also challenged to not fold like a coward, but you're also challenged to maintain this vision you see that is deeply personal to you and may not make sense until a Sagittarius season where it's all visual, and to honor where within your depths at your core you are witnessing this transformation and rebirth. Okay. The reason why this is hard to put into words is because if you get too caught up on how objective what you're seeing is, you're missing the point entirely, as this is really meant to really kind of shift and break through internal processes, internal feelings. We'll get back into the light of objectivity when we philosophize in the Sagittarius season in another week and a half. But for now, you really want to apply what you are being revealed, what you're showing yourself and others, into how you are continuing to see this transform in your external environment, in your relationships with others. And I think with the moon on Jupiter, this might also kind of induce some element of fortune that will key you into a deeper understanding of how to continue to hyper accelerate this nature of transformation. Coming into tomorrow, we will see Mercury now meet with the direct Mars, and as this links your brain and action orientation to seeing what's possible, and the scout we had earlier now meeting with Mars on the other side to be like, all right, here's what it'll look like for the rest. I'm gonna go back and reevaluate what you've done so far. Meet back up with the sun in Scorpio by the new moon so that we can activate this purity while it is opposite and breaking through Uranus, because that's really the most major aspect we're setting up. The 27-degree conjunction at the end of Taurus we had in May will eventually be the 180-degree new moon opposition that will break through this and really step us into not just the new world by the Sun-Saturn conjunction next year, but a breakthrough of innovation we've spent since 2018 manifesting. And that really requires not being afraid to admit this radical sense of worth. In our case, we're set for life. Okay, we're infinity heirs. So move forward feeling what that's like. Really get this inner higher vision of what it feels like to step into what you are claiming, and don't necessarily wait for anyone or anything outside of you to make you know it's true, because those who know go. I made that up. You stay blessed as always. Peace.